in 2018. The patient's immune system is taught to attack its own cancer, and patients are going into remission and even being cured.
You know, sometimes you hear your grandparents say, oh, during my lifetime this was invented. This isn't even my whole lifetime that I have seen such a sea change.
The fight against cancer has been long and filled with failure. But over time, tragic failures have led to remarkable success. During World War II, mustard gas was released on the Bari Harbor in Italy. The gas decimated normal white blood cells in the body. Chemotherapy, chemical warfare on cancer cells, was inspired literally by war.
In 1978, we had drugs that killed cells, but it also killed normal cells. Big problem.
When I got started, there was nothing. We had the intervention of hormonal therapy and a lot of prayer.
As more funding was dedicated to cancer research, more discoveries and advancements were made. Treatments became less barbaric and more options became available. But still, patients were being treated with a one-size-fits-all approach.
All of the treatments were fairly toxic. You lose your hair, you become fairly sick. And the thought of just being able to take a pill and have your cancer go to sleep was not even in my radar.
In 2003, the Human Genome Project was published, which mapped the entire human DNA sequence. Gone are the days of classifying cancer based on the organ or tissue area it affects. Now, cancer can be identified by its molecular abnormalities at the cellular level.
My mom's on a drug called palbociclib now, and it wasn't available 20 years ago when she was diagnosed. It actually wasn't even available 5 years ago.
After decades of research, we've discovered that cancers are unique to each patient, just like their story.
We would take a room full of 10 people with the same cancer. I can tell you as a doctor, each one of them is different, and everyone deserves to be treated by their particular molecular dysfunction.
The Power of Precision campaign is designed to further advance personalized and precision medicine for cancer care.
The research is going to lead to an understanding of molecular changes in cancer cells that will eventually lead to more therapeutic options. We can target those molecular changes that are associated with your cancer.
I think what's really exciting about the Power of Precision campaign is its vision to take what we know about genetics and immunology of cancer and really apply targeted therapies to finding new cures for cancer. And this is the future of medicine. This is the future of oncology.
Now we sequence the tumors and we find fragile sites, mutations, give us a window into cure.
This research is visionary, and it's the difference between 1980, what happened with me, and what's happening now.
I was diagnosed 6.5 years ago. They did an MRI of my cervical spine, and that showed stage 4 lung cancer.
It was just a whirlwind of test after test and bad news after bad news, until Bob Decker came into the room and was smiling, and that's when he told us that Jeanne qualified for this drug. And 2 months later, she was essentially tumor-free.
Tower has helped to fund the clinical trials for Xalkori, which brought it to market.
6.5 years later, life has never been the same, never will be the same, but because of this drug, I got Jeanne.
We're successful 20% of the time. 80% of our patients still need personalized therapy. Without the basic research, without the funding, there is no progression.
Thanks to the generosity of so many people who have helped to advance the science, from when my mother went through her cancer diagnosis about 20 years ago till when I went through it, I feel like if my daughter has to go through it in 20 years from now, that she'll have even more options.
Organizations like the TCRF who are able to help light that flame make a big difference in the world. The way we face cancer in not the next 20 years, in the next 5 years, the next 3 years will be very different than where we are today, and you can be a part of that.
We are innovation, new ideas, and cutting-edge research.
It's going to take time, it's going to take effort by scientists, and it's going to take money because it's for the benefit of all of us, ourselves, our children, our families, our neighbors. It's time that we wiped out cancer.
This is the future.